Well, a night of missed opportunities last night for the Rangers at the Garden as they had an original six matchup. The Leafs, a good team into town, in a game where the Rangers kind of could have picked up some momentum. Coming off a good win on Long Island against the Islanders. They're playing the Leafs, who's playing a second of a back-to-back. You know, you figure you get them in a good spot here. You're not as good as the Leafs, but you catch them on the second of a back-to-back on a road trip. You could take advantage of it, and it was just a night of bad starts. It started off bad right at the national anthem, which Disgrace, as I'd say about a good portion, close to half of the Garden, was booing the Canadian national anthem. Completely unnecessary. No reason to boo the national anthem, and I don't want to hear that they booed our national anthem. We've threatened to invade their country in the last 2 months, so they have a reason to boo our national anthem. We don't really have a reason besides the fact that they booed, you did it to us, we're doing it to you. So a complete disgrace there. And then the game started, and it was again bad starts. Bad starts in the first period, bad starts in the second period. A minute, like 10 seconds into the game, Mika takes a penalty, and then bam, it's in the back of the net 18 seconds later, and it's 1-0 Toronto, and the Rangers were just playing behind the eight ball all night, playing catch up. They did tie it twice, but Shesterkin was not great. The defense played okay. They didn't get many shots up to Toronto, but the ones that Toronto took, they counted. And the Rangers made many, many mistakes. They had self-inflicted wounds, too many men on the ice, which cost them a goal. Shesterkin with a turnover behind his own net, which cost them a game-winning goal. And the Rangers just, again, starting slow against these teams, and they lose 3-2, and they remain 6 points out of the wild card as the trade deadline approaches. And the fourth line, who was the best line the Rangers had the other night against the Islanders, scored 3 goals. People said that was Rempe's best game as a pro, that it showed how much he's really come along. And then you go last night and he gets 4 minutes on the ice, plays 30 seconds in the final 30 minutes of the game. When the first 2 or 3 lines aren't doing much, and your fourth line is coming off a game like they had against the Islanders, and they're really a physical line, and to sit them on the bench and to go down like that, not really a pretty scene last night at the Garden. And like I said, they're 6 points out of the playoffs. You got the trade deadline coming fast, just a couple days. We'll see what Drury does, but this team is not a playoff team. They might sneak in. They could very well sneak in, but they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. They have not played well. They're very inconsistent. Panarin and Mika's only got 13 goals, and he had a bad game last night. I know he was the second star, but he caught a penalty early in the first period, turnovers all over the place. He did score a goal on a pretty deflection, but listen, it's not going to do it. The Rangers they just don't look like a playoff team. They were not very good last night. They carried a lot of the play, but the too many men on the ice, and it's unacceptable. Unacceptable to have too many men on the ice ever. And it's just, it's one thing after another with this team, and they never really get it going. So, Mika, not good. Shesterkin, not good. And when those things break down, when you don't have Kreider playing and you don't have Fox playing, it's just, they're not a good team. Toronto on the second of a back-to-back to come into the Garden and for the Rangers to hand them a goal in the first minute and then hand them the game winner in the third period after you got a shorthanded to tie it. Rangers got a shorthanded goal. The place was jumping a little bit. There was some energy in the building. And then right off the bat, Shesterkin turns it over behind his own net, and bang, bang, it's in the back of the net. And the Rangers lose 3-2. So not a good night at the Garden all around, from the national anthem until the final horn at the end of the third period. The Rangers lose. They remain 6 points out of the wild card, the last wild card in that Eastern Conference. And if I'm Drury, I don't really go. I don't think you go all in, right? Because this team they're not playing well. You're not going to go all in, bring somebody in here and have them just go off and all of a sudden go on a crazy run. That's not going to happen this year. Rangers aren't going to the finals, so they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Shesterkin has been taking a step back. He hasn't been bad, but he's taking a step back this year, I think. And last night, another example. I think that first goal he could have stopped. Yeah, it was a one-timer. It was a nice pass. It was a quick release, but he's there. And it got by him. And then they fumble around at the side of the net and they put it in their own net to start the second period. You can't be coming out of the locker room in these periods and have a bad 2 minutes and give up goals in the first 2 minutes. Third period, they came out flying. They got the shorthanded goal. Then they hit the post about 15 seconds after the shorthanded goal. And right after that, when you say, okay, we got momentum going, shorthanded goal, now they're pushing. They just missed to take the lead off the crossbar. And then Shesterkin fumbles one, turns it over behind the net, and it's 3-2. And then the Rangers never really came close after that, and they lose. So mistakes, again, self-inflicted wounds with the penalties, self-inflicted wounds with the turnovers. The power play does not look great. And they were missing Kreider for the third straight game. They were missing Fox, who knows how long he's going to be out with an upper body injury, is what they're saying. It just doesn't seem to be. It just has that feel where like it's just not going to happen this year. Like I could see the Rangers now fading a little bit. And last night was a big game. Like I said, they got some momentum. They created a little separation with the Islanders the other night, beating them there. If they could have beat Toronto last night, then they get the Islanders again on Monday. You could have put together a nice winning streak, got something going right at the trade deadline. Then maybe you make a move or two, bring someone in here, and away you go. But instead, it's a bad loss to a team that was really ripe to lose. I mean, Toronto could have gone in there and just mailed it in. But when they got the early lead and the Rangers handed them a power play in the first minute, they probably they saw blood in the water and then they took it. So not a good night all around at the Garden for the Rangers, but we'll see how they do. Let's see what what Drury does going forward. Again, they traded Jimmy Vesey and Ryan Lindgren this morning to Colorado, so we'll see. I traded away. I think Lindgren's a good player. He was a tough player. He was kind of he set the tone. He was a good defenseman. He was your top defensive pairing with Fox whenever he comes back. So we'll see how it goes. So, again, not the Rangers season. It's just not happening. And the person I feel worse for, the worst for, is Sam. Last season, he's going to go out with a possible missed playoffs. What are you going to do? So Rangers lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 last night. Tough loss. Bad night at the Garden. National anthem booed. Disgraceful. Penalties. Turnovers. Mental mistakes. And it ends in a 3-2 loss for the Rangers. So that'll do it for us. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.